Are you wondering how to build a strength routine that is perfect for the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle? Well, by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to do that using the periodization model. But before I dive into all that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to click that bell to be notified every time I post a new video on menstrual cycle health, nutrition, and fitness. And if you don't know me yet, my name is Omega Zumpano. I'm an exercise scientist and menstrual cycle educator, and I went from this to this in a period of months just training with my menstrual cycle. So like I said in the beginning of this video, we are going to be using the periodization model to talk about training for the 4 phases of our menstrual cycle. Periodization, as defined by Homebase, is an exercise design technique that promotes long-term performance improvements. Coaches implement this technique by modifying variations of exercise intensity, volume, frequency, and specificity within certain training periods or cycles. No pun intended. The article goes on to say that we can break these periodization cycles into 1 to 2 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks. So this becomes pretty handy when we're talking about the menstrual cycle. So we as trainers or people just in love with fitness can use this tried and true periodization model that is being used by coaches and athletes all over the world to actually adapt it to our menstrual cycle to get the same exact gains. So if you're excited to break this down for the menstrual cycle, give this video a like, and we are going to dive in starting with the bleed phase. In your bleed phase, you can safely be in what this Homebase article refers to as a maintenance phase. And this article recommends 2 to 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. But you and me both know that when we're using a low rep range, like 6 to 8 reps, that indicates that it uses more muscle glycogen. And if you've been following my page for a while, or if you're familiar with substrate utilization with exercise, you know that muscle glycogen, glucose, sugar is not readily available in the bleed phase because our hormones are very low. So I would modify this and say that a maintenance phase can be like 15 to 20 reps of an exercise over 3 to 4 sets, about 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max. If you don't know what your 1 rep max is, that's okay. Just go 50 to 70% of your overall capacity. This 2021 research article by Romero Parra et al. Showed that in the follicular phase, we have more delayed onset muscle soreness, that's muscle soreness after we work out, and more strength loss in our follicular phase. So how can we adapt this to the menstrual cycle, considering that this article indicates that we have less endurance and less strength? How then shall we train? We train by doing an endurance phase. And I know I just said muscle endurance is low, but hear me out here. We can safely do 10 to 15 reps of an exercise at 3 to 4 sets while taking ample rest time in between. You and I both know that taking ample rest time actually helps recover the muscles. So when you're integrating this into your practice or your client's practice, you can encourage 60 seconds to 90 seconds of rest in between sets. And if you are crunched for time, or if you just like being really efficient with workouts, you can accomplish this by doing cross training. So by doing a glute workout in one set, and in the next set doing an ab workout. And in the next set, even doing a bicep or tricep or upper body workout if you want even more rest period. And you can cycle through working different body parts, safely avoiding delayed onset muscle soreness. The week around ovulation is where training can get super fun if you like to lift heavy or just push yourself. The following recommendations are going to be for when estrogen and testosterone are at their highest. That is about 2 to 3 days prior to ovulation and 3 to 4 days after ovulation. This 2004 study by Zhu and colleagues showed us that estrogen provides a protective effect to muscle damage. And this article by Cook et al. Showed us that motivation and competition prowess is highest in athletes when testosterone is high. Putting this all together in a periodization model shows us that we have a higher capacity for setting personal records, for strength, and for power-based movements in this phase of our cycle. So if you, an athlete or a client that you're training, wants or needs to set a personal best, training at a rep range of 1 to 3 reps for 6 to 8 sets is best for this phase of the cycle if we're focusing on periodization. And if you're just like, hey, I'm a normal person that just likes lifting weights and I don't necessarily need to max out, then training around 75% of your capacity for a rep range of around 2 to 5 can also improve your gains. In the mid to late luteal phase now, people who are training would benefit from a deloading period as estrogen and testosterone are dropping off the map and progesterone is coming on. A little note here, progesterone also is linked to higher cortisol levels, and we are typically more sensitive to stress in our luteal phase also. Also important to note in this phase is that female bodies are actually using more fat for energy, as noted in this 2021 research article by Willett et al. So doing a higher rep range with lower weight can support the female's metabolic process and also keep the stress hormones like cortisol at bay. My suggestion is the 3 to 4 day window after ovulation is when you start decreasing the intensity of the overall training. A rep range of 10 to 12 at about 60% in the mid-luteal phase with a set range of 4 to 5 would be appropriate. And as we shift to the late luteal phase, we can increase that rep range and decrease the intensity of the weight lifted and also increase the amount of sets we do. So that might look like 12 to 15 reps at a 50 or 55% capacity for 5 to 6 sets. If you are a personal trainer that wants to go from not fully understanding the menstrual cycle to being a confident menstrual cycle coach when you're talking to your clients, and to be seen as a go-to authority for hormonal health inside of your community, I'd love to show you how to do that. You can book a call with me using the link in the description box below. Go ahead, give this video a like if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel to get more menstrual cycle health, nutrition, and fitness education. And if you are curious about updated nutrition for the menstrual cycle, go ahead and watch this video next. I'll see you there. Bye.